Well, hello there. Let's get this all squared away, squared away, squared away. Think we're good. That. That. Okay. So, I remembered something earlier today. We did not do our unsaved changes over here. So we'll come back and do that here in a second. But first, let's finish roughing in this stuff for the map. Put that over there. Okay, so we're working on a model for the tile. Tiles have a UUID. They have a location. Neither of those are going to be optional. Well, probably not. No. Location is going to be optional because we need to be able to create one without knowing where it is, I think, to create the new tile. And then we enforce that it has to have one in the form. Maybe. Is there a case where that's not true? We might be able to get away with mandating it. We'll have a description. We'll have a verbose description. And then a list of UUID values. Dart core didn't get imported. Connections. I don't know if this is going to be const or not. I don't think so. We don't have a key because you're not a widget. Let's go with making this nullable, this. This shouldn't be nullable. Actually, we could take this out. We're going to give these default values instead. Default value. Oh, okay. How do I make these optional again in Dart? Forgetting my syntax. This No. Oh, I forgot my... That's why I'm so confused as to why things aren't working correctly. There we go. Because I should be able to... There still must be constant, though. But I swear I did this for... Was it the controller? Oh, I can find it up here. Okay. Well, I didn't... That wasn't a... I guess it just has to be nullable if I don't specify? Because that's not a const either. And I can't just do this, I don't think. I can. Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay. These will just default to empty strings. You... oops. That. Okay. So there's our constructor. This one is also going to need to be unmarshaled. So we'll do, we don't need to clone you, I don't think. Like, we're going to want to copy data over from one to another, like when we drag and drop, but we don't need to clone like the UUID. So let's just do this. Let's do the right syntax here. UUID? Yes, UUID. Cheat off of ourselves here. So we checked if it was null. Makes sense. And we also make sure it's valid. And then we ternary U. From string that as string, otherwise it's null. Location is location. Can we do that? Maybe. What are you mad about? That is... Oh, I forgot to do that. There we go. All right, so we've got location, description. We've got verbose, which should be that, I think. Yes. And then connections. And I'm not sure here if that's going to work. In fact, I'm almost certain it won't. And we're going to have to do it as a list of strings and then parse it out. We can try it, though. And then we need... that, this. Which is much, much simpler. Location. Location. Whoops. You. Just like that. This we want to say... only do that if that's greater than 0. Or rather, if is not empty. Okay. So here's what we're gonna... well, actually, hang on. This guy... list of tile data, and you are called tiles. Like that. Let's be good there for just a second. Roughing the of the map model. Add tile model. Okay. Oops. That's fine. The connection templates. We need to go to the form actually, and then we need to fix that up really quick before we forget. We would have done the same thing in the room. Template form here. You can go here because I'm not going to need that. I think I just made a space for it. Unsave changes. I put you in a row. And I gave you a padding. That's what I did. Okay, so we can do that. Again, down here. Right above our buttons. We didn't use our form field up here. I don't remember why not. Theoretically, we could use this. And then do a little bit of this. We'll do the same thing we did here. Color is theme of context. Color scheme error. Like so. Oh, I put you in the wrong spot. A little bit like that. What are you mad about? Oh, right, because there is, in fact, a ternary there. So we just do an empty spacey space if we don't have. Okay, that gives it a little room to breathe, and then boom. Oh, we forgot on our reset. Reset fields, and then modified is false. Boop. That works. That works. That works. You work. You work. You work. Okay, perfect. Add missing saved changes. Notification. Okay, perfect. Meow. Let's go back to all this crunchy stuff we were playing with earlier. That's all fine for meow. Let's do tests for this guy. Let's put you in map. And we'll do model test, I think is the yes. And then I gotta remember, by which I mean cheat off of past me. We import Package flutter test. I think it's that one. I think we do. No, I don't remember. Void main, duh. Okay, void main, and then inside we just say test, and this one, let's see. All of that. Here's it go. Why aren't you? I must have the wrong import. Flutter test start. Oh. I'm dumb. As is usual, the reason. There we go. So. We're going to load this from the file. And over here, we did... So we need to do the same things, basically, to set up. So we're going to need to establish a test data. We'll do it as a map. We're going to... Boop. Or rather, a list of maps. We can probably get away with just 2. They need to be in brackets, not in. It's in quotes. We can still probably get away with just 2, I think. We'll do a UUID. Like so. Oh my gosh. 9 and 1. That's fine. This is only important just in that it mostly looks like real data. Like so. I forgot my comma. We need connections. And I think we're just going to copy pasta these guys. Let's just do 2 of them. So we have something in there, but we don't really want to verify a billion of them. We'll use this real ID. Well, real test data. You're at 5-1. Like so. We'll do the same thing here, where you just grab 2. Okay. And then we need to do all of our setup stuff. So we need setup main, or setup all, rather. Async you. We also need to set up these constants. So we did... this will give me tile template test data. And then this is test_dir path, which we just set up, and then path separator. That. Go ahead and import you. We'll do that. I think I used those in the teardown. We await directory tester path still create perfect. That write a string JSON encode. We called you test data still. You I forgot. File. There we go. And then our tear down all. Exists sync is the check. If that is true, tester path delete recursive true. Kill it all. All right, now we've got that, so we need to go ahead and try to read from our test data. So we created a controller. This is a, I should really base this off of the model test. Oh, I've just completely confused myself. Okay. Yes. This is actually going to be... We're not going to have a tile controller. We're going to have a map controller. So actually, this is a start on that, because this actually needs to live over here. This all needs to also live down here, or over here. Go ahead and do your import. There we go. I'm just going to copy this over. Got ahead of myself. Oops. Oh, I did. There we go. And this will import that. This will import that. Okay. And I just need to remember to do this needs to be a full dummy map fig. Okay. We'll save that for later. This test is much, much simpler. we just need to test our unmarshalling and our marshalling. This one, tile from JSON, that's all correct still. We're going to do the same thing we did over here. And this is where we can actually grab... I just closed you. This. We can use the same data. That's fine. Okay. Same deal. Tile data result. Tile data dot from JSON the test data. Perfect. This we expect you to be that. We need to import you. That's cool. We're going to expect result dot location is equal to that. Is that gonna work? Theoretically. The description. I don't know why I can't seem to remember where that key lives anymore. That's still description. Verbose. Like so. And then this we're going to need to do this is going to need to be expected to equal that. What is the correct way to do this? Forgetting my syntax again. Maybe I can just map over you. This will be UID. This guy is the from string UUID. I think that's correct. Not a subtype of type list. UUID value. What about them apples? What you think about that, Mr. Test? Okay. Null is not a subtype of type. Because I made a mistake. That's why we test, right? List string. Okay, I was afraid of that. So we need to, in here, be able to do a little logic. Because we need to go basically do this exact operation here. And to do that, I think we do this. And we say, so instead of this, we do list string. This actually needs to happen inside of here, though, I believe. We do the same thing here where we say we need, actually, we should already have, so we should be able to say add from string RUUID. Wait a minute, why did I put you in there? You should be in regular. But let's do that so we don't step on that variable. Okay, but we also need to say here I don't know why you don't like that. Why don't you like that? Sort that out in a second. In fact, we might even just have to pull all this down inside of here. What's the correct? Your final. So we take final off of that. Unless there's a better, nicer way to do this, a cleaner syntax for this, which I don't know if there is or not. Um, I think we would need to do... We should still be able to make this final. Do we need to do this? No. We would have to do that, I think. And then we put these back. Can't do that though, because I need to be able to throw... Oh, okay, duh. We need to do... This can go in there. Like so. Because that's the only thing that's technically required. Then we can start setting things, right? Yes. Are you gonna still be mad? At the end of this, we're gonna end up returning that. Can't return values. Yeah, can't return values. In their example, they're saying to return this, but that also doesn't actually work. Why do you tell me I can do that? Oh, because of that. Let's put that back really quick. Learning things as we go. Like so. Okay. Now, this we also want to check. So here we need to say what was the... It's a UUID. If it is valid from string, the UUID that we're in this map iteration. Else, do we want to throw an error or do we want to swallow it? What do we want to do here? Just log it. Think Because these have to be UUID values in here. But this file is going to be really big and unwieldy. But what we could do, instead of doing this, say if not, then throw exception, and we'll say in here that tile ID UUID connection ID, which is UUID. Ooh. This is actually new tile data is UUID. Connection ID UUID is not a valid UUID. That way we can track down in the file what's bad and figure out what we need to do to fix it. But we do want to throw exceptions here, I'm pretty sure, because it's going to help us not just like pave over something that's wrong, right? Okay. So, and that returns. So now this should be correct. And it is. Perfect. And this we're going to have to do. In the same way. Am I allowed to do that? No. I'm not. So what we need to do here I need y'all to go in here. And at the end of this, we're going to return the result, and everything is very unhappy with me. What am I missing here? That's what I'm missing there. Duh. Okay. And then here, now I can do stuff and also things. And then at the end, how do I add a thing? How do I add just one thing? Do I just say result probably? Let's do here a list of string that. That. Must be assigned before it can be used. Makes sense. There we go. So now what we do here is we can say if you're not empty, we actually, this whole thing we want to put in here. No, I lied. We want to do this inside of this block. So if the connection is, if we don't, can we do that? We can get away with both of those, actually. We'll do everything inside of here. That'll simplify things. We don't need to check it twice. What we need to do here is say connections map, connection ID. Here we're going to say add connection ID UUID to string. Think. I think that's safe to do. Think. Okay. Here we did no UUID. We do need to do that. We can copy this guy because we want to catch and make sure that we don't screw anything up. We should still be able to unmarshal these. And it should have a null ID. That way we don't error, right? Is the idea here. And then empty UUID. And this should also be null. Like it's not a valid entry, we'll need to figure it out what to do with it. But we can't crash, basically. Okay, perfect. And then we need to marshal tile to JSON. Just like so. And we'll do the same thing. And we had to do... Oh, we did that. That's fine. I can still do that. You can be our sacrificial UUID. And we did all the things I want to be in here. You're obviously going to be at 6.9 because why wouldn't you be? Description. Like so. Like so. And then connections is this guy. And we're going to do in here from string and we'll grab these two. Quite sufficient. Okay. And the way I want to do this, tile data. There we go. That and then that. Okay, so I've created you. That. Meow. That. I think that's okay still. This one's fine. That one's fine. This is going to be the tricky one. And I guess we could just dynamically do it again, the same way we have been. We can do you up here. Get you, and then let's just call you value in here. I could just like hard code it, but then I don't know, this feels better. Feels easier to change in the future. Okay. That should get us there. Okay. So we need to say reason location string or array incorrect. to help define or delineate them in the error message. Okay, so our connection list is incorrect. We expected... Why didn't you... It was null, which is incorrect anyway, but why did it expect? Empty. We might actually be able to... skip some of this. No? Why can't I? Oh, because you're... 8. List null. It would be a dynamic list, not a string list. So we'd already have a problem. So we'd fix that anyway. What's going on here? Where did I make a silly mistake? So we step through you. Bad connections is 0. Our connections, however, is 2. Do I not need that? What am I? What am I missing here? Our test tile, those are correct. That's empty too. Okay, so I've done the same thing in both places, apparently. What is the mistake, though? Yeah. You're broken, I know. Can I not adds value to the end of this list, extending the length by 1? Your list should absolutely be iterable. Am I not allowed to do this in two steps, maybe? Iterable null can't be assigned to a value of variable type. Why are you iterable null? You should be to list. Doing something wrong. Ah. I forgot an arrow. I think. And then this isn't that. List set what? There we go. Not quite. Because I've got braces in there. You don't need to do that. I messed up my syntax. That's the reason. There we go. Now I expected the correct thing. Do I still have to cast you, though? Can I just directly to-list you? Okay, you're going to break up that way. That's fine. I don't. Okay, perfect. So we just got to do the same thing here. We get rid of that. We could actually just go... We do still need the connection IDs part. Get rid of that. Add the arrow. Get rid of those. Don't need that because it figures itself out. That to list. Get rid of that. If you do the syntax right, things work better. Still no, though. No, which is not iterable. Still got my to list in. Connections is not empty. Back to the debug. So our test tile has connections. There are 2 of them. This should be correct. Ah, did it again. Forgot my plural. There we go. There. All right. Finally. Okay. That should cover the baseline there. Let's also do... So we said we don't want to write connections if there's no connections. If this tile for some reason doesn't have any. Just to help clean up the file, right? Just thinking if that's really a valid... We need to get rid of both of those in this case. You don't have connections. And then this we just need to say... That was what the test should look like. So this should pass, but do I want that to be the answer? That kind of fits. I'm just thinking, like, does it make it less obvious? I think it's fine. That's what I think. And this, let's also chuck in a test here to make sure that we handle that correctly here. And we can expect connections to be null in this case. Map was called unnull. Okay. That's why we test right there. It's because we didn't check this. Contains key. Connections. Then we do this. What happened here? Oh, duh. Why did this work when the other one didn't? I'm just gonna go with it for now. Oh, right. Yeah, empty list because we defaulted it. That makes sense. Let's just say we expect you to be a length of 0. That works. Now I'm confused, though, as to why this wasn't valid to do. Was it the to list at the end? I don't want to back up and undo into where we get there. I'll have to keep an eye on that in the future. Still learning Dart. Still learning Flutter. So, but for now... Oh, wait. Our test map got... Editor test map. Oh, duh, that's the folder. Gosh. So we did map model, tile model, controller test, tile model. Okay, yeah. Map model. What did you change in map model? Oh, that's fine. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. We're good. We will commit this and say add tile data or tile model tests, fix bugs in tile model revealed by tests. Okay. That's decent. We need to do the same thing, meow, for connections. We got our map model, we got a tile model, new Dart file, connection model. We're gonna need you to pull the fields out of. I think we're done with that for now. We'll borrow you in the future. I think we're done with this for now. We're done with that for now. We're still working on you. Let's put you here. We'll have you if we need to cheat. Which also means you will need to live over here. We need to go collapse that, expand that. All your connection data. UUID value. UUID. Origin. We need destination. I need to capitalize that correctly. We have string transit enter. Oh no, my test map. Oh, my map has a prob. Crap. Is that also done in I bet you that's also in my real map. Crap. Well, at least I caught it now. Let me double check here. Server config map. Yep, okay. I need to make a bug. Map file and editor test map file. Actually, just map file. We'll fix the one in the editor test map right meow. Map file, connections, structure, transit, exit, key should have underscore instead of M, or instead of dash. So M dash is not long. Instead of dash, like all the other keys. We'll have to go fix that in the server as well. Which is why I don't want to mess with that just yet. Just leave myself a note to fix it. For meow, close you. This will break our ability to open the real map, but that's fine. This file. There. Okay. Disaster averted, sort of. Kind of. Transit, not transit. Exit. And then we also have exit. Description. Yeah, okay. Now. We don't need to do the funky stuff, which is good. Required the ID. Origin. Can be that as a default. Same deal here. Default. We need the enter. Defaults to an empty string. The exit defaults to an empty string. This defaults to an empty string. Okay. Get that all squared away. We're going to need from JSON map string dynamic JSON. We need to do our same checking in here. Boop. We can do this, JSON UUID is not null, and oh, right. This is the factory. This one we can do this way. UUID is valid from a string. JSON UUID as string. If so, UUID value from string. JSON UUID as string. Otherwise, null. Because we don't want to crash. What have I done? I didn't make you nullable. That's what I've done. Yes. And then origin is JSON origin as list of int. Destination is JSON destination as list int. transit enter is JSON. Transit enter as string. Transit exit is JSON. Transit exit as string, and exit description is JSON exit description as string, like so. And then we need to do map string dynamic to JSON. And this, we say UUID is UUID. What if I messed up there? Oh, an arrow. That's why. Because we're not doing the extra work that we had to do here. Gucci. Okay. Then origin is origin. Destination is destination. Transit enter. Transit enter. Transit exit. Transit exit. Exit description. Exit description. Okay, perfect. That should be that. Then in our map test, Dart file, you are connection model tests. Dart. That, and then that's this. That. There we go. We need to import flutter test Dart, just like so. That makes you very happy. Now, make sure I do everything the same-ish, except pull you over here. That's fine for now. UUID. And what did I do? I did a UID value. Oh, we need to import you from string, and we used we'll use you like so. We need that go there. Origin is list int. Of course, we. Oh yeah, duh. That destination int. I guess you can be 96. Why not? Transit enter. And if I remember correctly, yeah, this is this transit enters from a direction. Transit exit. This transit exits to a direction. That'll do. Exit description with an awkward squish. Okay. Meow. This result is equal to connection data from JSON, the test data. Am I right? Am I correct? Have I done everything? We don't need to do that. So there's that. Yes. UUID is UUID. Oh, I just need to do this as a string. Whoops. We'll save this part for down here. Because it looks like a string. Oops, I forgot my quotes. It looks like a string inside of the file. And this also shouldn't be this way. Duh, because it's the JSON. Oh, I shouldn't have hard coded that. That's okay. That. This should be just that. No toString. Destination, test data, destination, expect, transit, enter, test data, enter, expect, result dot, transit, exit, test data, transit, exit, expect, results dot, exit description, test data, exit description. Okay, perfect. That should be good. I hope. And it is brilliant. Okay. We will need to do 2 more of this. This one is no, or yeah, no UUID. And this one is empty UUID, just to prevent regression, right? So this one, that goes away. We expect you to be null. This one, we give you an empty string. We still expect you to be null. Ooh, you know what I also should have been doing in these tests? Malformed UUID. And we'll just make you bad. And this is still expected to be null. Yeah, okay. Let me also throw myself in a note. I'll chuck you in bugs. Sure, why not? We'll say all Dart data models need to be tested with UUIDs. In addition to null missing. That'll do, that'll do. I guess we'll probably put you above the map thing. Okay. And then we need to test partial connection to JSON. For which this and I just did that. Okay. That's fine. Quite okay with that. You. Origin is, oops, this is list. Int origin is, obviously. Destination is, I'll flip that around just because it's funny. Oop. Final string transit enter is knocked my little rubber foot off again. This transit enters from a direction or is from a direction. Transit exit. Transit exits to a direction. Exit description with an awkward squish. Perfect. Meow. We need to do connection data, test data is connection data, UUID, origin is what are you all mad about here? Define name UUID. Oh. Helps you put it all in the right places. Destination is destination. Transit enter. Transit enter. Transit exit. Transit exit. Exit description. Exit description. Okay, perfect. Create our guy. Map. String dynamic results equals test data to JSON like so. Meow. We expect in here that we shall see some stuff. The UUID should be equal to dot UUID expect results. How did I do this before? I felt like I did this in a less awkward way. Oh, I just did toString. I guess I can do that. I think it's the same exact output, but eh. Origin equal to origin. destination should be equal to destination. The transit enter should be equal to transit enter. Transit exit equal to transit exit. And the exit description should be equal to exit description, just like so. Something ain't right. Expected that, but we got that. Which means... not that, duh. I forgot to do that. There we go. There's not really a whole lot of other permutations here, I don't think. So I think we're good on that. Enter test map. Ah, yes. Well. No, actually. We'll add you. Fix the exit key to be snake case the other keys, and then add model and tests for connection objects. Done with that. Now our map model, probably shouldn't have closed the other one. That's fine. Meow, we have that. And we say that we default to that. All right. This needs to be roughly the same, actually, where we say the same thing here. This is not equal to null, and is valid UUID from string that if it is UUID value from string JSON UUID as string, otherwise null. Did I forget to make you nullable? No, I did not. There we go. The size X is JSON size X. The size Y is JSON size Y. I'm doing these keys correctly, right? Size X says yes. think I'm going to have to do... Actually, hang on. Let me look at... Yeah, you're mad about those things. It would have been in... Where did I have to deal with this? Oh, gosh. Was it in status effects? Well, no, because it won't be a list. So we're going to have to do this the same way we did the tile model. We need to make a factory so that we can do a map over these lists and unmarshal them all, decode them all, I think. Because over here, from JSON, we got you out as strings. String. Where did I have a nested... Maybe I haven't had a nested model inside of a model here. Well, this is a list of attributes. Oh, that's a controller. Duh. Of course you're a list of attributes. Those are all... Those are all just base. No, you weren't there. Was it in you? Oh, you're right here. I swear I've done this before someplace other than here. And I wanted to double check my work. Maybe I'm losing my mind. That's entirely possible. Well, we do know one way to do it at least. So we needed to make this factory instead. Throw that in here. That. This is gonna... Ooh. What did you do that for? You are all of that. But you need to not be that. You need to be that. And already got you in there. You need to go like that. Don't know why auto formatter just totally screwed that all up. That was cool. will need to return that eventually. New map data. Okay, so size X, size Y, tiles. This is the one we need to set up. Okay, so list tile data, tile list. We'll make you, and then we'll do the same as we did over here. Yeah, we'll wrap the whole thing. Contains key, tiles. Because it can be the default empty list if it's not. That's totally fine with me. So we've got that, and then we need to say we didn't do this. We just built the list. That's fine. I'm okay with that still. We're also going to use the same pattern to throw the exception. I'm happy with that still too. What we do need is a list of strings. What we need. Because... oh, actually, do we? Because those were UUIDs. So... I'm just going to try it. And if we have to come back in and do stuff here, we'll do it. That's fine. That. I don't remember if this was smart enough to... why can't I do that? Oh, because it's single size. Duh. This should be as int. Because this is going to be an object, a JSON object, so theoretically it should be able to crawl down the list and unmarshal it. We'll find out, though. That's what we have tests for. We do the same thing here. But I'm not sure about this one either. We'll find out. We have the technology. Okay, down here, we're going to do a new tile. This will be map model test. Import package flutter test start. Test unmarshal, right? App from JSON. All that, right? We'll cheat. Yes. So this is going to get a little trickier. We need to do map string dynamic still. Test data. Meow. You can be this. Uh, 10 is fine. What am I thinking? Obviously, it's 69. Duh. And then tiles. So here's where it starts to get tricky. We need to basically just make this again. And we should probably have like 2 tiles. I'm thinking. Without derailing you, what is Mongoose Mud Engine? It is a game engine to run a mud. Read the other day that RuneScape started as a mud. Sure. I totally missed the whole RuneScape wave, so I do not know if that is true or not. We'll use our testy awkward squish exit description. That was a connection. I am an idiot. That's fine. We need that too. We need this as well. Oh, I forgot to chuck them in there. What are you mad about? Oh, is it because you? It is. Okay. Location. Obviously, that's where we are. Description. And verbose description. And this one needs connections. What I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to use this instead of just a random one. Love to see you creating things out. Will this be open source, and do you have a demo yet? I don't know about open source yet. It's still kind of a thing. I don't know what I'm going to do with it when I finish. Other than I'm going to make a game. And demo, no. I'm still pretty deep in the weeds. So right now I'm building the editor. So, right. we need to be able to build a world map, right? So we have other things like the status effects. We can build status effects for the game. We can edit and build skills and attributes for the game. So now we're building the map editor so that you can build the maps. And then there's a couple things that we need still. I don't have a quest system of any kind. I don't have... Characters are really, really basic implementation still. So I don't have like experience and levels and stuff like that. So we need that. We need... Right now there's only one map. I need to expand the map system, which is why we're building a map editor now. Because we need to have maps that connect to maps and stuff like that, right? So there's that. We need NPCs still. They don't exist yet. And once we get those couple last few pieces in, it'll be time to start thinking more game designy thoughts, and that's exciting to me. But that's kind of where we are. I have a really basic client as well. It'll need some additional stuff, but that can come after we get more functionality in. But yeah, let's do one more tile here. Are you even trying to make items mechanics for TTRPG gets overwhelmed quickly? Yeah. Solid editors are cool, even better your handmaking. Here's right. Well, the idea is, so I'm still not sure how I want to release it. My fear with open sourcing is that I would be almost compelled to say that I don't accept PRs or anything anymore, just because it's become such a mess out there in the world. And I don't want people to be mucking with it, right? And that just feels crappy to do. So I don't know. But the idea behind the editor is that you should be able to, as long as you're good with the defaults provided by the engine, you should be able to build a game without knowing how to code, is kind of what I'm going for. And I want to release it in some way, shape, or form. I just don't know what that looks like yet. And it might be that I just say, look, here it is. If you want to change it, you have to fork it. It's on your head to merge whatever patches come into your branch type of thing. That's kind of where I'd be leaning towards. You can be at 9.6, just the inverse, like our connections. The second coolest test tile. Verbose description. One day, I want to be the coolest connections. I use RPG Maker for that exact reason. Yeah, you can do tons of things without knowing any code at all. Yep. Well, that, and I also don't want to like this map file. Like, it's human readable because it's JSON, but like, I don't want to edit this thing by hand. That sucks. You know? This is plural. Let's not shoot myself in the foot again. I guess I can use the same... This shouldn't matter for the testing purposes. We'll just use the same ones. That's fine. We want to do one more connection as well. For our test data set here. And we'll just borrow your ID. And you can be the other way around. we'll say from the other direction. And I did the wrong character there. Don't want to derail you. No time is valuable. Forgetting where you are in your mind map sucks. Oh, no, it's all good. If I wanted to be quietly developing all alone, then I would be, instead of being on a stream. To the other direction. Exit. Description. We'll say with a proud bang. Started using Google's new IDE anti-gravity. It comes with free Gemini 3. Credible for redundancies until one day I am the redundancy. Yeah, I would, if you're not, I would discourage you from using AI if you're learning. But, like, you know, do whatever you want. Okay, 9180. Oh, yeah, I don't care about that. For the test, that's cool. What is this going to look like unmarshaled? We're going to need to do this, yeah. Actually, hang on. When we... Oh, yeah, because of that... How do I want to test this? I guess I could do... I guess I could do this. We could do that. And then we can map over like so. For each tile. And we can say the same way we did over here. Not here. Over here. We did. That was connection IDs. Doing vibe coding and real coding at the same time. Managed to create an idle game. Most of the things I created like we're saying very moddable and allows for creative changes. Gotcha. Oh, I put you out of one too many braces. But here I should be able to say theoretically that. Just say your base game will be more casual or hardcore in its gameplay. I don't really know yet. I want to I want to avoid some of the things that I remember disliking about the ones I played. Like, I don't want to encourage scripting and macros and stuff like that. But I also don't want to make the game suck to play without them, right? That was one of the major problems. Is like, if I wanted to play against somebody's scripts, then I would be playing a different kind of game, right? So that's one of my main goals. I want to kind of elevate the experience to be a little bit more like the clients that people wrote as MUDs aged, where they had more quality of life. Like, people added mappers, it'll have a mapper. They added like HP bars and stuff like that, right? So I want to kind of bring some of that into my client and kind of smooth over some of the early UX for it, the game experience to it, but not lose the kind of spirit of it. I'm trying to hit the middle grounds. But anyway, yeah, I haven't played any MUDs, but I have seen plenty on SourceForge over the years. Yeah. Permadeath? No, probably not permadeath. That's just not fun in a... Like, MUDs are an early form of an MMO, right? So it'd be like playing WoW with permadeath. Like, obviously, hardcore WoW exists, so there's a market for that, but like, not your average person isn't going to have a whole lot of fun with that, I don't think. Item loss, maybe? I'm not sure on that yet. PvP, yes. I never enjoyed how the PvP and MUDs worked, and so I want it to be a thing that is fun and doable. A lot of them end up having like rules that were really, really strict against PvP because it just wasn't fun for most people. And I don't know how I want to try to kind of cater to both. There's lots of examples, where games have implemented stuff like where if you're not flagged, then you get some kind of a malice if you kill that person, or something like that. But the rules were like super, super hardcore restrictive in a lot of the ones I remember, and that kind of killed the fun too, because PvP's fun, for a lot of people. But all of that kind of leads to, I'm kicking the can down the road because we need like a baseline level of functionality so we can start to build the game. And then once I have that, I can start letting the game development drive what additional features and things are needed. Okay, so they're assuming I'm allowed to do it this way like I was over here. I had that one that didn't work that way, which is super weird. In fact, I might actually do... well, they're not a string, though. We'll have to see how this works. That's part of why we have tests. And then this... And I'm hoping that I can actually compare these guys. If not, it's going to get chunky. Glad to be here in the early stages and hope to one day get to create game modes variants using these editors. Yeah, we'll definitely see. Definitely see. I don't know about modes or variants, but okay. all of that, assuming I haven't totally screwed up, should work. And then I should be able to say map data, yes. Result is map data from JSON test data, like so. Perfect. Now, expect result dot UUID is UUID value from, I don't have you imported yet, right? Yes. From string test data UUID. And I'm actually going to stop right here and run it and see how much crap got going on. App string object is not a subtype of oh, right. This is okay. What I need to do is have this be like that. We'll call you tile objects, I guess. That's fine. Like that. Oh, actually, no. I should be able to do as. Oops. List. Map. String. Dynamic. I think I can do that. And then that. I can't do that. Crap. Okay. Here's what we're going to do instead. This is going to suck. So we're going to do it this way. That's going to suck a little bit less, but it'll be easier to read. Let's see here. As soon as Bungie gave me Forge, I've been cracked into those things. Gotcha. I've never played with it. So hang on. Let's do this. Size X is going to be that. Size Y. That. We should be green up until here. No, we're not. Oh, because... Yeah, okay. I was afraid of that. I'm going to have to do this. Okay. So. We're going to do that in here just in case. And then we're going to say you're going to be list map string dynamic tile objects. I'm missing one of them. Is JSON tiles. And I'm going to type objects instead of objects. We're going to map over this tile data. We're going to say how did I do this over here? You were a list string there. That's going to be correct. Yeah, yeah. I'm pretty sure this is going to work. So we do here. Because we defaulted to an empty list, we should be able to add. We need to try catch this though, I think, because over here we just threw an exception if it didn't have a valid ID. So we need to try here. We need to do that. I'm not doing that syntax correctly. What is the correct syntax? Oh, I just need to do catch there. I don't need to specify. Okay. And then here we're going to just throw exception to add context here. And we're going to say error unmarshalling tile. Can't really get much more detail out of there unless we know. Yeah, we're just gonna go with that. That should hopefully be okay. So here we're gonna add, and what we're gonna do is decode tile data. Why don't we like this? Okay. That. Whoops. That. We'll do it that way. And I'm going to temporarily comment you out. Oh. That one was replaced. We're going to temporarily comment that out. Okay. So we're good there in theory. Let's actually take a look. We're just going to go into debug. Actually take a look at what comes out of there and make sure that result has tiles of 0. So it didn't work. Why is that? Why didn't you... Tiles. Why didn't you come in here? What happened there? What's going on? JSON contains key tiles. Boop. Boop. Skipping. At least it looks like it is. What is different from these two things? We have tile objects. Come back in here for me. Tile objects is you. It's like it's skipping it like it was before, and I don't understand why that is. And in their example, they've got an arrow func in here. Which, oops, I could certainly do. But I can't do that either. We need to look at what I'm doing incorrectly here. The map class here. Not the class, but the function. That's the syntax they're showing, but I can't do this that way. So theoretically, come out of there for me. Hang on. You just restart that. We'll skip all that. We'll go back to list map string object is not a subtype of list connection data. Oh. You were supposed to be commented out. Nothing. Huh. I'm missing a nuance here in my understanding of how to correctly do this. And I can't do that. And I can't do this. And I'm very confused as to why these two behave differently. I'm sure there's something I'm missing here that's just silly. I guess I would probably want to try this. That back. There's still no tiles. Even if we call it. Let's put that back since it didn't change anything. Need to do some reading, I think. Okay, I could just for loop it. I want to understand what I'm doing incorrectly. Oh. Well, no, I don't to list here. So the to list in one of these will immediately force it to go through. There's something else that's immediately forcing it to go through the iterators, and I don't know what it is. Which is annoying. Values fold. Yeah, not sure. That's fine though. We can do this. All right. Like so. And we can do our try here. Catch our exception. Throw this up in here. And then that. that should all be equivalent. As long as I didn't... There we go, yeah. So now when we come back here, we should actually have our tiles in here. Oh, because we said you were constant. Crap. What if... Oops. What if I said that you were final? Still can't do it. Okay. Okay, we'll just make you nullable. In fact, we'll make both of you nullable. And then here when we create this, tiles will create an empty list for you. You can't be null. We just made you. We're already in a try catch. I think we're good. Safely wise, I hope. And then in our result, we have 2 tiles. Okay. Those tiles, however, don't have connections in them. Which leads me to believe that this is incorrect as well. So why didn't our test tell us that they were incorrect? So we need to go take a quick look at that. Because we did the same thing here. I bet you this is ending up... I think my misunderstanding of how this works has caused me... We've hidden a bug in here. Okay. So it's a good thing we caught it. And that also explains why that one was working. It actually wasn't. So we need to do the same thing here. We have our expected connections list. We need to go through for map string. Wait, no, this is just strings. String connection data ID in test data connections add from string connection ID. Oops. Get rid of that. This test should now be failing. And it is. We need to do this to all of these guys. I missed the top one somehow. That's fine. That's okie dokie. No connections, so that one's not going to be broken. These all should be broken now. And they are. And now if we go over here and we fix you. You are map, no, string connection ID in we're going to do that instead. These will come up here. I'm just going to get rid of that junk. And then you are connection ID. That is that still. Connection ID. Connection ID. Okay. And now they should all be fixed. No, they're not. Okay. Oh, right. Crap. So that means this is also going to need to be nullable. Which is fine. It will break our tests, though. That is correct. Is null. We can do that. What else do we got here? Add cannot be a called on list because potentially null. Oh. We do need to say up here, connections is connection. Nope. It's a list of UUID values. But we need to create a new one. And then you can't be null here. Not equal to null. You can't be null. We just checked you. There we go. And then actual, oh yes, okay. That's right. This actually goes back to where it was, but we're going to say we expect you to not be null in this case because we handled that already over there by creating it before we handed it back up. Okay, so that fixes that, which should then in turn fix my app model test here. My debug point went missing. Hopefully I caught it in time. I did. I should have put it there. That's fine. Now our result in the tiles have connections. Okay, perfect. That's what we wanted. All right. So let's actually do where we were going with this. Tile data, expected tiles, make you an empty for, and then we'll say, map string dynamic, and this will be, tile data in test data tiles. Boop. We say expected tiles add tile data from JSON tile data like so. Now, if I'm correct, we should be able to say result tiles should equal to expected tiles. And hopefully I can actually do that comparison. I can't do that comparison. Crap. Okay. So we'll have to then instead result tiles 0 UUID. You can't be null. Test data tiles 0. Oh, I can't do that either, can I? Oh yeah, I should be able to do that. I think we can get away because we check on marshalling correctly. But you're a string, so I would have to also do UID value from string that. As long as the UIDs are correct, I think I'm okay. Because we test correctly unmarshalling the tiles over here. Oh, actually, I need to also do... Okay. We need to fix this up. So we're going to add... Oh, that's in test. Map editor. The map tile model and those two. Go into one commit and we say that that is for fix bug in tile model test, and the bug in tile model was field, or rather concealed by test bug. We can push that, that's fine. We need to over here make sure we do this as well. Actions, then we do. We need to come up here. Could I get away with, if I didn't do this? Could I do that? No, I couldn't. It just has to be nullable. It's annoying. Connection objects. I think I can actually condense this in both cases and just say for map string dynamic connection data in JSON tiles. And then we can say also a try connections can't be null. We just added you add connection data from JSON connection data like so. Catch the exception, throw it with context error unmarshalling connection, the exception, throw that up, get rid of that. This I think we can do like that and it'll be all Gucci. It's not. what is... Oh. This is connections, not tiles. Silly, silly me. There we go. That's better. Okay. And then we should be able to say, we need to do the second tile as well. From string, test data, tiles, second indexed, UUID. Wrong place for that. There we go. And now, connections, 0, you can't be null. UUID from string, test data, connections, index 0, UUID. Like so. Expect result connections, second index, you can't be null. UUID, UID value from string, test data, connections, second index, UUID. Okay. Spell that correctly. This should all be good still. And it is. Okay, perfect. We're going to do no UUID just to prevent any regressions here. Like so. We just nuke that completely and say that we expect U to be null. We empty this out and we expect U to be null. And then this one, we add some stuff, make it invalid. We expect you to be null. Perfect. Okay. We need to do add test for marshalling JSON. Marshalling map to JSON. But here we're going to say add, or actually, did we finish up the... Yeah, we finished up and added a bunch of stuff in here. So finish map model add test for map model. I'm actually wondering if I need map controller. I will, yes, because I'm going to need to be able to update these tiles and stuff like that. So it's going to need to have stuff. Anywho, add test for map model, fix bugs revealed by testing. So we need to finish up the map test tomorrow. So we'll do that, and then we'll probably write the controller for it and figure out what that looks like for us. It's gonna look a little different Oh gosh, I'm tired. Than the other controllers we have, because it's going to need to do more things, and I'm wondering if I want to do something differently in the back end there. I'll think about it tomorrow. For now, I'm going to go to bed. So, thanks for everybody who came and hung out. I appreciate you. Thanks for the great chats we had today. I do this thing for roughly 2 hours. We go longer sometimes, like tonight, but roughly 2 hours, 4 days a week, starting on Friday and ending on Monday, tomorrow. So I will be here again tomorrow at 8 p.m. Central doing this some more. And if you like this kind of thing, I would love to see you again. And if not, you guys have yourselves a great week anyway, and we'll catch